Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the DDI stamped AK-47 that you see here. This one here is actually a pre-production prototype. You can see the serial number on this one's pretty low, and it was one of the first ones released to guys to review and get some feedback from. So the feedback really that I gave DDI is going to be one of the changes that you're going to see on this rifle versus the production one. This rifle here had a really tight mag well, gave them a little bit of feedback, and they've actually opened it up. So the mag well on this one was a little bit tight and kind of fit mostly just like P-mags, or even like some of your Euro mags out there would work just fine, but even the Yugo ones or Bakelights are a little bit tight, so that's changed. So the one that you guys get, if you actually decide to order this one, is going to be totally different. This one also has just the phenacite finish on there. So what phenacite is it's a nitrocarburization process, and they used it on the barrel, the receiver, gas tube, bolt carrier, a bunch of other parts, which the production one still does. However, they finish it with a KG gun coat finish for the production ones. This one doesn't have that gun coat finish, so those are really the only two differences. Other than that, the rifle that I'm holding here is the same rifle that you're going to see when you actually go out and purchase one of these, should you do so. So it's based on a Hungarian parts kit, like new Hungarian parts kit. I can tell the one I have here seems to have almost no wear on it at all. And it's got some other things thrown into the mix, which make it this unique DDI rifle. So what those things are, we're going to get into here in a second. First, we're going to do a little more shooting, and then check out the accuracy that you can get out of this rifle. Time to test the accuracy of this sucker. We got the primary arms 4-powered prism scope on there with the RS mount. A few different types of ammo. First up, we have some Wolf 124 grain full metal jacket. Probably the most common ammo that folks are using in their AKs these days. We have some PMC brass cased, and then some Winchester sort of hunting loads or self-defense loads. So we got the target down range at 100 yards. And I guess we'll see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this guy. If I can load it. Yeah. It's easier when it's not in rest. Anyway, let me get it on. So, without further ado, let's get to shooting. Not too bad from what I can see. I think our point of impact is going to be a little high for all these rounds due to the way I got the scope zeroed on there. Next up is the PMC. Interesting. And the Winchester. There you go. Let's go see. These results were pretty interesting. I'm going to tell you guys what I was doing, and you'll see the results. So basically, with the Wolf, I was aiming dead center in the white right here. We had our point of impact up here, these 3 rounds, which is what I expected. I zeroed the optic with the Wolf, so I expected it to be high at 100 yards. So we're coming in right at 2 3/4 inches for that group. So next up, we had the PMC, had 2 rounds right here, and then this one, as you guys saw. So very good there. We're right at about 1 3/4 inches. With that, I was aiming right here on this bottom line of this target. So pretty similar in terms of a point of impact with the Wolf. So what I was trying to do, I was like, well, with the next target, I don't want to aim high. I don't want to aim up here in case the rounds went over just because the point of impact we were getting, right? So I held right on this specific round right here, impact. That's where I was holding. And as you guys saw, that's where the point of impact was. So no doubt about it, there's a drastic change in terms of point of aim, point of impact with those Winchester rounds. Interesting. Just thought I'd throw that out there with that group. We were just over 2 inches. So really, as you'd expect with a quality made U.S. barrel like this one certainly is, with that phenacite finish, it seems to shoot pretty well regardless of the round. So 3-inch groups, the cheap stuff, are just under 3, I should say, and probably in the 2-inch ballpark with better ammo is really what you can expect out of this rifle, you know, in a rest in ideal conditions. Starting out front, we have the slant style muzzle device. It's 14mm threaded, so you can replace it with any of your AK flash hiders or muzzle brakes that you so choose, but that one certainly will help a little bit versus a bare muzzle nut. The barrel it's threaded onto is a Green Mountain 4140 barrel, which is treated with that phenacite that we discussed earlier, so it's going to harden it up and extend the barrel life, certainly over an untreated barrel. Has a bayonet lug here, so you can attach bayonets should you choose to do so. I know a lot of AKs these days aren't coming with that, so it's good to see that back on there. We have a vented gas block as well as a vented gas tube. Now, a lot of people were very concerned when this images of this rifle, I should say, came out, that it wasn't going to function properly, both being vented, and I can assure you it's totally a non-issue. Most AKs will run just fine without a gas tube entirely, so there's no issue there with the vents in both the block and the tube. It comes with Hogue handguards on there, so they're rubber overmolded, which is going to give you a good gripping surface on there, and it also comes with a couple pieces of 1913 style rail. You can put them on the sides like we have here and attach lights or anything like that that you want to do. You can also put them underneath. You can see we actually drilled them out, or pushed them out, I should say, for the screws to go in there. I didn't personally prefer the way it felt there, so I took it off, but it is an option for those of you that want to do that. It also comes with a top cover that has a rail on there. My personal opinion, I recommend you do not use that because it's not going to hold zero if you put an optic on there. But some folks, I'm sure, will want to use it and see it as a feature. There is a heat shield in there, so it's going to help cooling if you start really rocking and rolling with the rifle and getting it hot. So it will help versus just a standard plastic or wood handguard. The rear sight is standard AKM, graduated out to 1,000 meters if you want to use that to dial in your elevation adjustments. Obviously, 1,000 meters is pretty optimistic with this round, but it is there if you so choose to use it. The receiver here is DDI's own receiver. You can see it's stamped DDI on the bottom. This one here is just the phenacite. Obviously, the ones that are coming in production run, they're going to have the KG gun coat finish over all of it, which really looks nice with the phenacite bolt on there. So the bolt and bolt carrier are going to have the phenacite finish like you see here, but the rest of it has the KG gun coat. It really does look good, contrasted against each other. On the left side of the receiver, we have DDI's built in-house optics rail. However, it's built in the same specs of any of your ComBlock ones. So if you have a optics mount that'll work with a Russian, Bulgarian, Romanian, etc. Optics rail, it'll work just fine with this one. You guys saw we were using the RS regulator out there, and it works just fine. No issues there at all. The grip is your Hogue overmolded grip. I know a lot of people really like this. It does fill up the hand quite well and has a little bit of a grip texturing on there that the little peg standard AK grip isn't going to come with. I certainly prefer that over the peg grip for sure. The fire controls there are Tapco G2. I know there's been some controversy over the G2 in the recent months, but I've never had an issue with it. It seems to work just fine for me. And the stock is made by Phoenix Technology in the USA. I really like this stock, actually. It's polymer stock, so it'll fit any type of AKM receivers, which this one will. So if you want to replace it with, whatever your favorite receiver extension is, you can do that. But I really like this one. It's Warsaw length, which I like. And it also has a cool compartment feature there. So it has this little nub on the back. You can take a bullet or any other similarly pointy object and just push it. We could do it on camera. There you go. And it pops out, revealing the storage compartment. So unlike your standard AKM Warsaw stocks, which just you're going to be able to push your clean kit in, this one is completely open, so you can store a lot more stuff in there should you choose to do so. And then when you're ready to seal it up, just seal it up. And it has this nice rubber pad here on the back, which is going to help absorb that recoil. Disassembling the rifle, standard AK stuff. You're just going to make sure it's unloaded. It is. Push our button in here on the back, remove our top cover. It is a rib top cover, as I'm sure many of you have noticed. Take your spring out, your bolt carrier group, and that's your basic field strip. You can remove the front handguards as well. We're just going to take our carrier here and pop that up, the retainer. Take our tube off, and then you can see that's the heat shield we talked about earlier. One thing I should point out, see how stiff that is, it's not that stiff, is that it does have the Hungarian retainer up front, and additionally the trunnion, as you guys can see here, is the Hungarian one. Now it's a little bit different than some of your AKM ones out there, but most handguard sets will fit or will be able to be trimmed to fit. So a lot of them will fit just automatically, like I just said, but even the ones that are made to fit your AKMs, you can usually just trim right here around the edges and they'll fit right in there just fine. Those are all the boring details, but how does it shoot? Well, we saw the accuracy already, so it did pretty well there. And reliability has been 100%. We used Wolf M67 surplus corrosive stuff to test out that phenacite. It did just fine. Brown Bear and also some Brown Bear soft points, and it's fed flawlessly with all of them with several different mags, from the PMag that it comes with to I think we have like the slab side that we have here. We've used that in there. It's worked just fine, and several different Euro surplus mags as well. So no issues there at all. Price point is pretty reasonable. I think the MSRP on it is $7.99. However, I'll roll in a picture over at AGS Armaments website so you guys can see what it actually costs today, at least when I'm making this video anyway. So it's pretty reasonable all the way around. And one thing that I've found over the years of shooting AKs, reviewing AKs, is that the thing that sort of differentiates different companies that do it is just going to be build quality. Building an AK is not like building an AR. You know, most folks can't do it in their garage. Some of you can, I realize that. But getting everything properly headspace, properly lined up, straight, getting your rivets pressed properly, all that stuff is not exactly easy to do. And those of you that are in the AK market and have watched it over the years have seen several companies mess it up, but it seems like DDI is doing it right with this rifle as well as their milled one that we've reviewed previously. All that stuff seems to be on point. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions about the rifle or anything else we discussed or didn't discuss here, you can post below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.